Good morning, afternoon, day, or night. The ways that brands manage their social media has significantly evolved over time. In the early days of social media, these accounts were just an extension of the brand's larger and more traditional marketing message, with the occasional playful nudge at social media.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco spicy chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone, like the memer.
Whew, eat spicy goodness like a boss.
This whole ad is such an obvious attempt at
How do you do, fellow kids?
That ad was never going to go viral for a number of reasons. First of all, they were already referencing a dated meme at the time in
Like a boss.
And secondly, people do not want to share content that is so obviously advertising.
The selfiers.
So good. Gotta get a selfie.
So hot, got a selfie or selfie.
If corporate accounts want to go viral, the content needs to deliberately avoid sounding corporate. In short, it needs to have personality. Companies quickly picked up on this, and in a complete 180 from the awful commercial I just talked about, an obvious example is Wendys on Twitter.
Why is your beef square? Because we don't cut corners.
If you spent any time on Twitter, and probably even if you haven't, then you know that Wendys goes viral all the time for roasting people and other brands on Twitter.
Black Friday need copy and link when the tweets are as broken as the ice cream machine.
That's a great tweet that took a shot at a corporate rival and got a ton of engagement in the process. Over 600,000 likes. That means that millions, if not tens of millions of people saw this tweet. For a reply that took their social media manager maybe 10 minutes to write, that is huge return on value. And there is plenty more where that came from, seeing as Wendys unofficially declared February 11th as National Roast Day.
Watcher got uniforms our employees can wear in the winter.
And it's clear that this newfound Twitter popularity resulted in even the most wild Wendys marketing ideas were getting greenlit. For example, they released a mixtape where Wendy herself is supposed to be rapping, featuring songs such as Twitter Fingers or Rest in Grease. It's a wild ride.
Them little tweets don't face me. McDonald's be so lazy. I know the reason you hate me cause I'm fast food's first lady.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that this exists or the fact that it kinda goes hard. You do have to commend them for committing to the bit though. Like how the brand Moonpie committed to the bit with creating an entire ad campaign based around what started as a joke of putting a moon pie on the moon.
This year marks NASA's 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Yeah. And how many times has a moon pie been to the moon in those 50 years? Question marks. 0.
A moon pie has never been to the moon? That's just pie. To be clear, I have no problem with this kind of social media management, but there's no denying that the bits are definitely getting weirder. The thing with the new era of brand social media management that I can't really get behind is the fact that brands like Sunny D can tweet,
I can't do this anymore,
and get 300,000 likes. That's not a good thing. Like, yes, obviously there is a very real human being behind these posts who has very real emotions, but at the end of the day, the job of the Sunny D social media manager is to make Sunny D money. So they are profiting off this weird pseudo-personality as if they're just another person tweeting through the apocalypse. But they're not. They're a brand. And then Burger King took it one step further with this, an ad that, at first glance, appears to be a genuine conversation starter about mental health.
Not everybody wakes up happy. Sometimes you feel sad, scared, crappy. All I ask is that you let me feel my way.
I can't believe my student loan. I'm never moving out of my parents' home.
I too know what it feels like to never move out of your parents' house. That's right. It ends with them taking a subtle shot at McDonald's by spoofing the Happy Meal with things like the Blue Meal or the DGAF meal to both advocate for mental health and also take a shot at a corporate rival in the same ad is the definition of trying too hard. And while the personalization of brand social media is more obvious on Twitter, it is not a Twitter-specific phenomenon. Take Denny's incredibly strange Instagram account. I think this says everything I need to say. The real Denny's Instagram account posted this. And this, in case you've never seen a horse with a dinner roll for a torso. Or a somehow threatening image of a chicken strip inside an IV bag. To be clear, Denny's arguably invented this brand of social media management. They've been posting things like this since Tumblr was in its heyday. So yeah, Instagram is getting weird too, but in a more predictable way, because for the most part, it's just memes or strange photoshops like the ones we saw from Denny's. But that's Instagram. TikTok, still the newest and hottest app in the social media space, falls much closer to the Twitter end of the spectrum rather than the Instagram end. And there is no brand doing it better on TikTok right now than Duolingo, the language learning app you used for 6 weeks in 2013 and then never again.
C-A-P. Cap. Cap.
The Duolingo owl is rapidly becoming one of the most recognizable mascots on TikTok simply because the Duolingo social media manager gets TikTok. All of the content posted comes from the brand personality of Duolingo, this witty and sarcastic owl who also happens to be in love with Dua Lipa.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
But it gets weird when you go into the comments of a video and you find the brand Duolingo flirting with someone who is posting thirst traps. Because it's not only the social media manager, but also the brand flirting with them. These social media brands are not your friends. They are there to make money. And these days, on most viral TikToks, you can go into the comments and you'll likely find some kind of brand talking in an incredibly personal tone. In my opinion, the brands that feel the least disingenuous on social media are the ones that let their social media manager actually become almost a spokesperson for the brand, like what the Washington Post has done with their TikTok account.
You join us for the first time, might I recommend a drink from our bartender, Sam. Great bartender, better friend. Any more requests? Yes, Pink Panther for the jolly man in the back.
That's Dave. And yes, he really posted that on the official Washington Post TikTok account. I'm not sure the editors at the Washington Post fully understand what Dave is doing, but he is really good at it.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How would they know?
And it doesn't feel weird because it's not Dave speaking as the Washington Post, it's Dave speaking on behalf of the Washington Post. Now, I understand that the circumstances are slightly different because the Washington Post is a news organization and not a corporate brand like I have been talking about throughout the rest of the video, but I still think it's possible for brands to somewhat replicate what the Washington Post has done here. But the fact of the matter is, the wild content always gets more engagement and attention than the regular marketing plans. For example, KFC released a literal Lifetime movie about Colonel Sanders falling in love, and people went insane for it.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. The menu for the Christmas Eve luncheon is ready for you to look at, Mrs. Mancera.
Sorry, who are you?
Harlan Sanders, the new cook.
With how ugly hot Mario Lopez is as Colonel Sanders, I can't really blame people for losing their minds. I'd dive further into the KFC Lifetime movie about Colonel Sanders, but that's not really social media content so much as just wild content released by a brand.
This is all your fault!
So it doesn't really fit into this video. So you're probably starting to wonder, Brandon, what exactly is the kind of brand social media management that you think is good? And the answer is, for the most part, what's happening right now. My biggest objection is to the social media managers who are exploiting things like the conversation on mental health to drive engagement for their brands. But I'm just one person, and it seems like the majority of people don't really care what these brands do on social media, so it's unlikely that it'll change until a newer, more lucrative form of social media management reveals itself. But until then, we have to continue to live with how wild these corporate social media accounts are getting.